Okay, welcome to this edition of the Rich Eisen Show. Once again on Zoom. We've been zooming all week as we're at home right now. Rich Eisen, Chris Brockman. Good to see you again, Chris. How's that little baby boy of yours doing?
Oh man, he is great. He's getting so big. It's just amazing. Yeah, totally knock on wood. It's amazing the changes from 0 to just 1 month. I was looking back through old pictures last night, and he just looks such a different person. He's filling out a little bit more.
Right.
He's definitely getting heavier and bigger. So all's well here. Knock on wood.
I think that's probably true of everybody in sheltering in place right now. A little
I
bigger, a
know.
little bigger.
I
Well,
know.
I don't know. I just got off the exercise bike. I'm trying to
Oh,
get.
good job. Yeah, Mike Heller is filling in for us on the radio, and he
Is
had a
a great
poll
job.
question today of when this is all over, will you have gained weight or lost weight?
Hmm. You
I,
know,
I I clicked gain just because that's probably the safest bet, but I am doing my best around here.
I'll tell you what, and it is important for everybody to just shelter in place and stay put. And I know that there's so much more in the world than that poll question, you know.
Right.
And I feel the need to continue to say that sort of stuff, especially since we are thinking of going back into studio next week.
Yep.
For the radio audience that has been away from us for a week, all of these Zoom shows that we've done have not appeared on our podcast because we're just doing this to create some content and keep present for our fan base that does tweet at us and email us and connect with us, that it is something that they want. All that said, I'm going to try and come back lighter by the end of all this sort of business, and hope that that's the only thing. Again, I don't know about you, but I'm hearing more and more and knowing more and more people who have gotten
Yes.
COVID-19 and are hopefully getting through all of it. And again, we hope that we're here for all of you in the manner in which you want it. I just feel the need to keep saying that sort of stuff, as the news, I guess, of the day is the fact that the NFL is continuing on with the draft between the 23rd and the 25th. And from what I'm hearing, it's entirely possible I may be hosting the draft from right here, literally from
Really?
the seat. Yeah, I mean, we've
Oh,
got to make
wow.
contingency plans. We have no idea what to expect, and that we're hearing from Los Angeles, from the mayor's office, to expect at least 2 more months of shelter in place. At least if we're doing our show from our LA studio, um, it's me and you and Del Tufo and like 3 other people, all of us spaced out in
Yes.
large area by at least 10, 20 feet. I mean, the only people that's closer by are you and Mike, and you guys have been quarantined essentially.
Right.
So, but large television studio operations have ceased operations for the moment. And so it's entirely possible I'll be hosting from this chair, and I'll be dressed a little bit better than my sweat tailor. And DJ might be where he is, and everybody is where they are. And it's a broadcast. It's a broadcast of an event that I'm sure the NFL is sitting there thinking that it's a service to fans. And I kind of understand, if you will, both sides. I spoke to a high-ranking management official on the team side of things, talking about how it is a competitive imbalance for teams in a shelter-in-place city that are not using their war rooms and their facilities,
Right.
and other teams are in states where there isn't such a hindrance, and they are in their war rooms and they are all together in their facilities, that it's a competitive imbalance in a draft. And I'm also mindful that there's a problem with physicals, and teams are used to doing the draft in a certain way, and they won't be able to do the draft in this manner. And I go back and forth between, will it be tone deaf to have a draft if the death toll keeps mounting across the country? And I had similar reservations prior to sitting down for the free agency frenzy shows on NFL Network. And I heard nothing from fans but, man, this was a great respite. And I'm thinking that maybe when this virus does spike, as it's supposed to be here in the state of California, and certainly in New York City, it's 21 days away. that perhaps people who are sheltered in place and bombarded with the most worst possible news outside of their doors might seek some sort of escape for 3 nights that the NFL can provide, some sort of sense of normalcy where we are intrigued into who gets drafted where. And in terms of, teams that feel that they're at a competitive imbalance, or that they're not going to be able to get the physicals done, and they're not going to be able to get the face-to-face done that they're used to having, and they're not going to be able to have the usual tools at their disposal to have a draft, I guess to those folks, I would say everybody's sacrificing.
Yeah.
Everybody's trying to make do. I mean, right now, again, we're all in my family, thank God, healthy, and we don't have any family members who have this, and we also don't have any direct contact right now with anybody that is. We do know some people are on the front lines fighting this in the medical arena, but we're right now dealing with essentially homeschooling our kids, and our school that we send our kids to is putting out a plan about what to do and how to teach the kids and all of that, and how we're going to have to sacrifice in many ways with what we do during the day and during the night, and I don't know. Like I said,
the other thing that's so difficult is just
without paychecks. Everybody's sacrificing
right.
without potential employment. I guess everybody can sacrifice and pull together and conduct a draft.
Yeah, just trying to predict what the world is going to look like a month from now, I think is impossible and not even worth it. And I'm just wondering how similar is to this, like you mentioned, from a players getting physicals when they held the draft during the lockout.
Yeah, I mean, that was, I think, still just normal. That was still going as normal because players were not members of the NFL until they were drafted. So, they weren't members of the union until they were drafted.
Right.
And that was a big stink, man. I mean, that was a big stink that the NFL was really upset, I remember, about the lockout, where the Players Association was counseling rookies, don't go to the draft. Don't participate in the show. Don't participate in a big to do like the draft. And that was a huge stink. So they were still conducting the draft as if it was normal. I do think that the players that I think, the draftees that I think will be affected the most in the same way that Cam Newton is right now, or anybody that needs to have a medical look-see before a team commits to them, are players who are coming off of an injury, which is why you're seeing Tua, as we saw in yesterday's guest with Trent Dilfer, showing his workout videos on Twitter and recording them and putting them out there for teams to see. And I think that is the way players are going to have to go. But teams are going to also have to view that in the same way that I think people out in the real world view like a house or an apartment that they're thinking of renting or buying when they see the pictures.
Yeah, right.
The photographs are conducted in a way that makes that little corner spot look like a massive expanse, So that's kind of the buyer beware that teams would prefer not to undergo. And I guess the last thing I would say about it would be, if not now, when? Right? I mean, we don't know. Kirk Herbstreit made a little bit to do when he said he doesn't think college football or football at all will be played this fall. We don't know. We truly don't know what we don't know. We can assume right now that it is in jeopardy. But if not now, I mean, when will there be an opportunity for teams to conduct the draft as normal? When will that be? July, August, September? Not at all. And then what happens? What are you going to have if there is no season? I mean, at some point you will have to talk about, well, what is the draft order for 2021 if there's no new draft order configured due to a playing season? What happens to tolling contracts and things like that? Do you want to have a draft in the middle of all that, or do you do it right now at the time where it's supposed to happen? Free agency did go off. Everybody thought that would be such a major problem with physicals and what have you, and that it may have turned off some fans to see contracts in the tens of millions of dollars being talked about as if it was normal, when we have now a $2 trillion stimulus package passed. But I haven't really heard that. Maybe I'm wrong and people will see this and tweet at us. So if not now, when, right?
Right.
And we're all sacrificing. And maybe when it is all said and done, that night of the draft, if I'm sitting here or at the NFL Network or Daniel Jeremiah's in NFL Network, either a safe social distance away from me or in another room, or I'm sitting in the hermetically sealed room like the Deion Sanders suite that we have at NFL Network, and everybody else is on their home cams. If that's the way it goes, I hope that people sit around and enjoy it, and that, you know, a year from now, 2 years from now, we're not hearing from teams saying that their draft was totally screwed over by a situation that they feel was forced on them. I don't know how it would manifest itself. All I know is that there is a playing season, there is an eye in the sky, and there is a combine where everybody did have a face-to-face meeting, and that maybe should be enough.
Guess we'll find out.
Fun. You ready for Jeff Garlin?
Oh man, am I ever.
Okay. So we're kind of mixing it up. We did football on Monday and Tuesday with Kurt Warner and Bruce Arians and Boga. We had fun with him. Wednesday, you got to check out again Joey Molinaro and Frank Caliendo coming on the show together. That was just hilarious. And
oh my gosh, we needed that.
And then yesterday, Trent Dilford walked us through the whole Tua workout process that he is honchoing with him. And so all of that's on our YouTube page, youtube.com/Rich Eisen Show. We are right now having conversations about being back for our 3-hour radio /YouTube simulcast at noon Eastern on Monday. And we'll just keep you up to speed on that over the weekend. As long as we are healthy and able to do it, we'll attempt it. And then Mike Del Tufo will join at the end. How does that sound?
I mean, he has brought it every single day, so I honestly can't wait to see what Friday brings.
Okay. Let me bring in Jeff Garlin. Here's Jeff Garlin now. Okay, joining me as promised. I'm not taking my glasses off because I cannot wait to do this. He is a great friend of mine, and zooming in from the great outdoors here in beautiful, lovely Southern California, sheltered in place himself, one of the stars of Goldbergs, and of course, Curb Your Enthusiasm, my buddy Jeff Garlin. How are you, Jeff?
I got to tell you, I'm doing fine.
Okay.
Couple of thoughts. Number one, this is the only show I'm doing. I've said no to other, I don't want to name names, but just know other famous sports talk shows, other shows, I mean, everything. And then also all those damn things where you're performing from your living room.
Yes.
Oh, screw that. I mean, if you want to watch me, I'm on Netflix, I'm on HBO, I'm on ABC, I'm good. I don't need anyone to watch me during a pandemic. And the other thing I want to say is, how blessed are we to live in Southern California? Because the idea that people are putting up with this shit in cold places.
Right.
And for us, it's kind of cool right now. It's not even that warm. But wow, to be able to sit outside and read a book, what have you, delightful.
So
I'm good being alone.
Okay, so you are flat out quarantined, like
I'm quarantined. I'm with my little dog Sage. Sage is the dog from the Goldbergs.
Are you serious?
About 6 months ago, I said to the dog's trainer on the show, I said, I'm thinking about getting a dog. She goes, would you like Sage? Apparently, and Sage plays Lucky. She doesn't answer to Lucky. She's not an actor that much.
Okay.
But anyway, hey, Sage. Let's
see Sage.
Sage, come here. Yeah, she'll come next to me. She's so adorable, and what a great mate. I mean, holy shit. For what is it, like 12 days I've been in? Yeah. My best friend. Come here. Come up here. Come here. I want to show here. Can I do the rock around thing or whatever? Oh yeah, hold on.
Oh my God, there's Sage.
Yeah. Hi, baby.
That's Lucky.
Good. Yeah, it's Lucky. She's just the people are missing my face.
Can you hear my kids out? Can you hear my kids?
Yeah, I can hear your kids. But you're blessed. I know. But on the flip side, my boys are with Marla. Boys, when I say boys, for those who are watching, my sons are 19 and
Right.
24. One just turned 24. One's about to turn 20.
Right.
But I miss them terribly, and I would have loved if one of them was here with me.
We sheltered in place with you. So what does a day consist for you, Jeff? What does
Um,
a day consist
I,
for?
I'm watching a lot of Netflix and Amazon Prime, Hulu, all these different things. I am I hang and play with my dog. I play guitar. I'm writing. I'm
Okay.
writing. I'm working on a bunch of different TV shows and movies. So I'm doing a lot of writing. Napping. Um,
How are you as a
yeah,
napper? You're
oh,
an excellent napper, like a
no,
world.
don't. You just threw me a softball, and you know it. I am the best. You know, Marla used to say that the only reality show that I would ever go on is Napping with the Stars, because I would destroy. I would destroy my little bench here. I could fall asleep here in 2 minutes. 2 minutes. I'm not
Napping
going to
with
do.
the stars, and
Yeah.
you might be a judge on Napping with the Stars, though, right? I mean, you wouldn't just be a contestant. I think you'd be a
By
better.
the way, you know, you say that, and I never took it that far, but
Yeah.
hell yes. Hell yes. Just sitting. Can you imagine? All right, picture 3 stars judging as someone climbs up, and what they can do is they can sleep on anything. That's the skill. A bed of nails, a real bed, a stool, and see where they fall asleep. And then we critique them while they're napping. Can I tell you something? If that's not hilarious, I don't know what is.
You could basically say, you know what, I appreciate the way that you lied down, and I appreciate the way that you got calm real quick, but your REM state can use a little bit of work.
No,
And
you're being far too gracious. I would be hard. I
yeah,
go, that was an embarrassment. You call that a nap? That's not a nap. That's an embarrassment. I would not be gentle with the bad nappers, but I'd be effusive. You're a good napper. I'm in.
yeah, of course. I mean,
Yeah.
you can recognize greatness when you see it.
I need to, this thing doesn't move.
What
So
do you
I
have it
just,
on?
well, I want to make sure that, tell me when I'm looking at you.
You're looking at me right now.
Done. Okay, we're good.
To use a Curb, I guess, moment, you are looking more like Harvey Weinstein right now, just like in the
Well,
episode.
yeah, because I've got the gruff. Yeah. More like, but not like. I look nothing like a rapist. I am not a. Stop it. People
That
come
was
up to me. Hey, Harvey, shut up. Shut up. No. But by the way, yes. But I'm in the process because I'm done. Unfortunately, done with the Goldbergs. I'm in the process now of growing a beard.
okay. That's what you're doing. That's what you're
Yeah,
gonna.
once it even gets to be about yours, I'll be fine with the Harvey stuff.
Yeah, this is like day 8. You know, this is what I got going on right now.
Oh,
And
I have day 10. I'm actually further along than you. I can't tell. I
and
don't look. Can I be honest with you? Don't look at my face a lot. I don't go in the mirror and go, "What's going on up there?" I don't. I shave in the shower when I would.
okay,
The only time I look in the mirror is when I brush my teeth. Don't know why, but that's what I do.
right, sure. How'd you the season of Curb was just amazing, Jeff. I mean, it was just as laugh out loud as it has ever been. What was your favorite?
Do you remember me? I mean, I told you a long time ago before you saw them because you're part of the Curb viewing team
Right,
or whatever it's called.
right.
I told you it's my favorite season.
You did
I
tell us.
did.
Like what?
Yeah.
Now that we've seen it, what made it your
Well,
favorite?
to me, everyone has gone into a store or a coffee place or whatever and been treated poorly
Right.
and thought to myself, how the fuck can I get you? It takes an insane person to walk outside, see a place for rent, and build a spite store. I got to tell you, I don't remember laughing as hard as I did at Sean Penn in the bird store. I mean, that was a punch in the face laugh. That killed me.
That was brilliant, and that was in the season finale. My favorite part about Larry's Spite Store was no defecating. There were no places.
No defecating.
For you.
Do you know when we would film all that stuff, I would just be bursting out laughing. You know, it's ironic that we did the poop episode because Larry doesn't really like that kind of humor.
Right.
You know, the licorice episode.
Right. That's
And
right.
and it was, so I guess if he's gonna do it, it's gonna be, because that to me was the funniest episode. When Richard, you hear his stomach when he's
That's right.
on stage.
As he's
I,
doing,
I I was crying.
as he was doing a performance of Marty on stage, live Marty.
No, no, it wasn't Marty. It was the one with oh,
I thought that's what
about
he.
the mentally challenged guy.
Oh, I forgot that. Forget what that was.
I forgot the name of it. It's not Marty. Marty's not mentally challenged. When we were all mentally challenged.
That's right,
You
right,
know
right.
what I mean? But
Man, that was so funny. And another funny, hilarious episode was, one of my favorite scenes was you.
I know what you're gonna say.
Uh,
Hanukkah.
I hope this is right, but you taking Susie to the airport.
Yeah, singing Hanukkah, or was it dreidel?
Decided to drop her off because you go on a golf trip. By the way, Vince Vaughn was phenomenal this year. And
the best, so talented.
you wanted to go on a Pebble Beach golf trip, and she just sensed your euphoria and
I know. I know.
by saying, "Screw it, I am not going."
I had a lot of fun shooting that scene.
Well, I assume that was your choice of song to sing, correct?
Yes, they told me any song I wanted.
Yes.
It was Larry and Jeff Schaefer, for those of you not watching, who's a director and a producer.
Right.
Larry's a producer, I'm a producer, and John Heyman, Carol Leifer. I want to name all the people that come up with the creative stuff. Anyhow, Larry and Jeff said to me, I go, "You guys got a song in mind?" Because when I read it, there was no song. It was long before. And they said, "No, whatever you want." And as soon as I said Hanukkah, they both started laughing.
Right.
So, yeah.
Oh, we had Nick Kroll in studio a couple weeks ago before.
Oh, yeah, for the ugly section.
Oh, my God.
Okay, so dig this.
Yeah.
We're filming the guy having the heart attack in the ugly section.
Right.
Larry and I are seated, as in the show, across the restaurant in the ugly section.
Mm-hmm.
And we watched as real time, we're sitting there, and the first time we shot it, we're not on camera. It's just on the angle of Nick coming out and going, help me, someone's had a heart attack in the good looking section. Or ugly section,
right?
Because we were in the good-looking section.
Yes.
Anyhow, Larry David and I looked at each other. The first take, when he did it, it took us 10 minutes to stop laughing.
Why?
Because it was just you read it. Larry writes it. You read it, and seeing it is a whole other. What happened? Am I gone now? What happened?
There you are. Yeah.
Okay. Because my thumb's holding the bottom. You get off my. There we go. All right. So you read it and you laugh because it's funny.
Right.
But seeing it, especially for the first time, especially something that absurd, destroyed he and I. We were crying. We were laughing so hard. But I have to say, on that show, there is so much joy in doing the work on that show, being, improvising and being on camera and filming it, that I'm not going to say literally, but most of our day is spent laughing really hard. I'll never have this much joy doing a show ever.
Well, it comes through, Jeff, and we sit there as fans and watch it and just, JB Smoove, every word out of his mouth.
Well, and by the way, also, what's also great for all of us is everybody who works on the show, all the actors, our improvisers and producers are champs. So it's like you're spending time with quality people and laughing all day. It's like, this is just amazing, because even when I go on to do other things, like I've done an improvised movie with Bob Odenkirk and a bunch of people called Dealing with Idiots, that was about Little League Baseball. That was so joyful, so fun, laughed all the time. But I wrote it, so it's not going to be as funny if Larry David wrote it.
Now,
And I'm not being mean to myself.
Oh, I
I'm
know.
comparing myself to a genius. I have moments of genius comedically,
Right.
but I am not an out and out genius. I am honored to work with one. So no matter what, I think whatever I do could be great, could be, don't know, whatever my next thing is. But unless Larry David's running it, it will not be anything as good as Curb.
Well, I'm hearing one of the next things you'll be doing is another season of Curb, Jeff. Is that true?
Well, yeah. That's yeah. Well, yeah, because have they started? Did they tell you?
There might be some FaceTiming. There might be some Zooming.
Oh, well, that's good. Yeah, because they're bored. Well, but I have a strong feeling we'll do another season. Strong feeling.
It has to happen. I mean, it is.
Well, yeah, I think that the response. I was just talking to Larry the other day, and the response from people has so energized us. Not that we didn't have passion or energy for the show, but we're so appreciative of people's reaction to this season, which I can unequivocally say in 10 seasons, our strongest reaction, season 10, which is really crazy. Our show's crazy to begin with, but to have the season that people love the most being season 10, wow. And so I know we're really excited about doing another season if it works out.
Fantastic.
I say if it works out because here's the thing people have to understand. Jeff and Larry will bounce ideas. Larry will go right. And by the way, I've said this on your show before. I have never in the history of our show pitched an idea to Larry David. Not one.
Right.
All right. Yet people come up to me on the street and they give me their ideas. And I'm like, no, I don't think I'm worthy of doing it. How are you? And I tell them it's not going to be funny. Go ahead. And then every one of them, I react like they just gave me a bad nap. You call that a nap? And I'll say to them, see, it stinks. I'll say that to people. Don't give it to me. But anyhow, it's, I'm just joyous about the opportunity of doing another season.
It would be great. It would be great. All right, so let's get to a little bit of sports. What'd you think?
By the way, I'm dying to talk anything sports. I'm always, by the way, for you, anything. Mostly I'm like, I don't want to talk about Curb, but let's go, Daddy-O.
Okay, Nick Foles is a Bear. What'd you think of that move?
Good.
Why?
Actually, I think like Jimmy Graham, good move. Nick Foles, very good. Because what he is a competent quarterback. So either he'll push Trubisky to raise his game. And by the way, you want my prediction on Trubisky? He doesn't run the gamut with the Bears. He's done with the Bears after his contract runs out. He goes to somebody else. Someone gets injured. He gets in. He does great because he's the guy. Different type things for rookie quarterbacks. He's the guy who needed to and needs to sit behind a guy like Nick Foles for a season or two. Now, what's unfortunate right now is the timing because the Bears have this killer defense.
Right.
I mean, a great defense, top 5 in the NFL. And then you add,
Robert Quinn had too, I thought.
Yeah, but also, the offensive line didn't do the job last year. Mm-hmm. And if people want to know why, I blame Trubisky. Don't get me wrong, and I'm an American, so I'm blaming. I hate blame, but offensive line play not so great. Play calling not so great. Thought the receivers fantastic. So running game could have been better, but I blame the running game, by the way, on the offensive line. There's only one kind of running back that can work with a shitty offensive line. And that is Jim Brown, Walter Payton. Right. Like they have to be the extreme, amazing top of the world. Otherwise, because Payton didn't always have a good offensive line. He didn't. He had a fun offensive line and they gelled. But for years, he did not have a good offensive line. But he's Walter Payton. Well, the Bears don't have anyone remotely close to Walter Payton,
I thought not keeping Jordan Howard was a big mistake.
And by the way, who's going to benefit now is the Dolphins. Jordan Howard's, I think, only 27.
I mean, he couldn't, stay healthy all last season for the Eagles, but when he was healthy, I mean,
when he was just fed the ball over and over, boom, boom, boom. I don't know what went down with him and the coach or him and the GM. Something had to have gone down to get rid of a player like that.
But I think you're right that this is as I said this on the show when the trade happened, was one of the last days that we were in studio, was that it lifted the kimono on their thoughts that Trubisky may not be the guy. And
they can't come out and say it until they cut him. And you want to know what Ryan Pace is hoping for? And I'm going to go in and I'm going to do conjecture.
Okay.
I'm not big on conjecture. He is hoping that either his boy Mitch or probably will be Nick Foles will be a good quarterback, have a really great season, make the playoffs. I mean, dream is the Super Bowl, but make the playoffs, do decent on the playoffs, maybe lose the championship game. And then the next year when he releases Trubisky, it'll be like, well, we're in a good position. We're moving forward. Do you know what I mean? Instead of what might happen is they stink again this year. They barely eked out 8-8 last year. So if they barely do that again, Pace has lost his job. No matter how much the Bears are not the kind of organization that fires easy.
Right, I know it's something.
I wish the Bears coach was, and the best coach they've had the past 25 years, Lovie Smith.
Yeah, huh?
Lovie Smith, loved by his players, got the team to a Super Bowl. Are you kidding me?
Rex.
That's hard.
Rex.
No, everyone loved Lovie. Chicago loved Lovie. Since then, not so fun.
Well, I mean, 2 years ago, that's the whole thing, is that when Trubisky was winging it around and they got the double doink to knock him out of the playoffs, which, by the way, was the last time Nick Foles won a game as a quarterback.
Right.
Enough. It looked like it was going to, go in this direction, but they don't have the same weaponry that the Chiefs have, and that's obviously the offense.
They did right, but so then no one's saying they're going to win a Super Bowl anytime soon. But I'm pretty pleased with the receiver core. They can improve everywhere, but mostly now that we've got a actual quarterback, not a star, but boy oh boy, this guy he's a good quarterback, a very good quarterback. Not great, but has moments of greatness. Maybe he's the equivalent of me.
He's a good napper. Trubisky.
He's a good napper. But the point being is, Trubisky got his shot, couldn't do it.
I know. Hey, did you hear the ESPN documentary on Jordan might be moved up because they're trying to, obviously put programming on the air?
Well, I heard a rumor, they said, look, it's not finished. And me doing what I do, I know when you're not ready for something to be seen by a group. But I heard that some people have already seen it and said it's great.
I mean,
some people at ESPN. So maybe they're just rushing right now to finish it, and they'll get it up. It'll be so exciting.
Your favorite Jordan moment? Give it to me. Which out of all of the moments was your favorite Michael Jordan?
Well, I mean, I would say the shot. I mean, for me, I've got two of them. Okay. One is personal. One is completely on the court. On the court was the shot with the flu against the Cavs.
Okay.
That was like, are you fucking kidding me? Because I'll tell you why, and it's ironic I'm talking about coronavirus, but the coronavirus doesn't feel like the flu. I've gotten the flu shot for over 25 years, not gotten the flu in over 25 years. I hate nausea. Not that anyone's like, oh, I can't wait to get nauseous again. But it's the only thing that brings about dread, depression. When I get nauseous, as a human being, I completely collapse. I made a joke in my act that the only two things I actually hate are nausea and Nazis. And I said the worst thing in the world would be to be captured by Nazis while having the flu. So I don't like. So the idea
flu game, you're mixing your two shot. The flu game was against the Jazz in the finals, but I think you were about to say the shot over Elo for the Cavs.
Was it? Wait, no, maybe I'm right. Wait, hold on. Wasn't the flu game against Cleveland?
Yeah, but the Cleveland shot was the one over Elo where they finally.
Yeah, but I thought he had the flu.
No, that's just I think he was very healthy that day, but maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. You're the big Bulls fan.
No, I'm not the Bulls fan. I'm the Clippers fan.
Oh, that's right.
Do not insult me by saying I'm a Michael Jordan fan.
I know.
I'm a Michael Jordan Bulls fan, but I am all in on the Clippers.
God, you're a Bomber BFF all of a sudden.
I'm a Bombers BFF, and I have season tickets I bought. Best purchase ever, because I bought them before we signed the two guys. And I say we because I'm going to be part of the. I'm going to ask Steve if I can give him $100 to be part of the ownership group. Just to have my picture as part of the. I am. You think I'm kidding? I won't do 100. I'll do the $100 is equal to a penny probably in the world of
Steve Ballmer.
Yeah, but I'm going to ask him how much can you say junior owner. I want to be called the junior owner in the program. What can I do that?
No, here we go, and then we'll bring it full circle. Napping owner. A napping owner.
Napping owner. Naps through all the things.
The Napping Basketball Association. That's the
napping. Well, by the way, that's another thing too. But then, how could you make a shot? Well, what were you asking me when I went on the nausea tangent?
No, just
the game or the Jordan game. Yeah, I don't know.
What's your personal one? What's the personal one?
Personal one. I was with Alan Havey in Chicago. Bulls are playing the championship series, the Knicks. Which that's who they used to always, it was either the Pistons or the Knicks. It seemed like that's who we had to get through. And the Knicks, it was just so interesting. So Havey got an all-access pass. So I'm in the bowels, yes, literally the bowels of old Chicago Stadium, and the Bulls come out. And they're kind of loose. They're not like tight. But Jordan walks out, and damn if they all don't get really loose immediately. It's almost like, oh, right, he's playing. And they're all like talking and slapping hands and so fucking loose. All right, I go around the corner, and we watch the Knicks. They came out, didn't say a word, didn't touch each other. Nothing. The game was already over.
Done. Finished. And I was on the Knicks side of that, and we just always knew Jordan.
So was Alan Havey. Alan Havey was a big Knicks guy.
Jordan was going to cut out our hearts and show it to us pumping.
By the way, I like the Knicks. I like the Knicks. What did you say? You met Jordan in person? You said?
No, I was saying that Jordan, we always knew that he would cut out our hearts and show it to us pumping. And then the one time when Jordan was playing for the White Sox, Charles Smith kept missing one layup after another. It's like still in slow motion.
Well, that memory is hilarious. That memory is hilarious. No, Michael Jordan, Bruce Lee, Muhammad Ali, few guys you can mention in that breath.
I agree.
Yeah. So, no, that was amazing, and the privilege of seeing Jordan play in person on the Bulls, But I took it for granted. I was young.
I'm sure. All right, Jeff, you're a good man to step outside in your backyard amidst.
But wait, hold on 1 second. I know you want to wrap this up, and believe me, I regret doing this. What I wanted to talk about was yesterday was opening day, or are you airing this today?
Friday. Yep.
Okay, Friday. Okay. Well, yesterday, if I'm not mistaken, was opening day without it being opening day. Right. That to me is hurting so much, not being able. There's look, for me, baseball is the opposite of nausea. Nausea depresses me, throws me out of whack. Baseball steers me straight.
I agree with you.
Takes care of me. It's like someone petting my head. So I'm alone and no one's petting my head, Rich.
No David Ross to pet your head.
David Ross. By the way, you know damn well, if David Ross is sitting right here and I said, David, let's show Rich, pet my head. He would pet my head and tell me everything's going to be okay. And you know what else? So would Joe Madden. That's the kind of man you got to be to lead the Chicago Cubs.
That's
One
right.
that would pet my head.
Certainly, since you probably haven't got a haircut in quite some time, it looks like.
I have not. By the way, did you watch Joe Madden take his bike ride?
No, I didn't.
Oh, find it.
Okay.
Find it. It's him with a zoom on his head telling you the story of his life in 1979. He actually, because something reminded him of that. But what's amazing about it is just him being so Joe Madden, and he's riding around this trailer park in Arizona, waving at people, and just almost gets runs over, stays completely calm, goes on the local baseball field and talks about how beautiful it is. Anyone watching, look up Joe Madden on his bike ride. It was so inspiring. By the way, doesn't say the most interesting stuff. It's the way he says it that makes it delightful. All right, that's all I'm saying. He talks about painting a restaurant and things. You go, oh, that's interesting. You painted a restaurant. Conversation over. He keeps going and going, but the way he does it is so beautiful. As a matter of fact, I'm going to try and get my hand on the original copy of it.
Okay, we'll look for it. I'll look for it. I love you, Jeff Garlin. Thanks for doing this.
I love you too, Rich Eisen, and good luck, everybody. Stay safe, just stay safe. All right, later.
Love you, bud. Take it easy.
Bye. Bye.
Okay, Mike Del Tufo, Chris Brockman, to wrap up this Friday show and wrap up this week of Zoom on the Rich Eisen show. I just had a wildly hilarious conversation with Jeff Garlin, and I'll summarize it for you. We talked Curb, and a lot of Mark.
God, this season was so incredible, man. Like, maybe as good as it's ever been.
He said,
I agree.
If you remember, he said when he came in studio, it reminded me that he said it was his favorite season ever, and we're like, really? And we're like, it was tremendous. It was great. The Spite Store. He said his favorite part of the entire season was the Spite Store, because we've all been screwed over by service. He used a different word.
Right, sure.
He worked a little blue on this show. And for those out there, we appreciate your patience and understanding. It is. Sean Penn and his Spite Store. He said that was the
that was
the exotic animals. Yeah.
Right. I know. My favorite part of the entire season was him dropping Susie off at the airport. All excited about dropping her off because he was about to go on that golf trip, and she sensed his excitement and wanted to spoil it, so she screwed him over by canceling the trip. He
was too happy on the drive to the airport.
Put it back in the car.
I know. He said his choice of singing "Oh Hanukkah" was his choice. It was his ad-lib choice to sing that song behind the wheel of the car. And he started doing it once, and other takes, they were like, stick with it. Larry David and Jeff Schaefer were like, stick with it. I mean, brilliant. And another idea that we concocted based on what he's doing during his shelter in place is he said that his ex-wife told him that the reality show he would have been great on would be Napping with the Stars. And we kind of spitballed it and developed the idea, to use the Hollywood phrase, on the spot, in which I upgraded him from contestant to judge, that he would be a great judge on Napping with the Stars,
So he's like the Simon Cowell of celebrity napping.
I did walk him through as to what a judge would sound like, and he thought it was too nice. He would have been more critical. So yes, I think he would have been right. Like, not enough drool out of the corner of your mouth. You're not doing it right.
Or it's not loud enough.
It's right. Exactly.
It's gotta be louder. Things like that.
And he came up with other ideas where you'd have to try and sleep on a bed of nails, for instance. Like you'd have to nap in difficult situations. I don't know if you're hearing what's going on out there, but my
no, we are.
Yeah,
a little bit of
Rich, every single day there's a different noise coming from your house.
I think she has Doc McStuffin's cart. That's what she's running up and down the hallway.
Okay.
Because the dog just came back inside. So who let the dogs in? Somebody did, probably Suze. Just survive in advance. Knock on
You
wood.
want to see some show and tell today again, real
Yes,
quick?
Let's finish up. It's been a very
Like quick show and tell, quick show and tell, and then I have a surprise show and tell as well.
I'm actually going to make Brockman feel good. This is one of my, again, I'm going into my Fox Sports. See this right here? This is the trophy presentation
Terry
of Super Bowl 36.
Yep.
That is the mic flag that's on that mic right there.
Whoa! Wow!
And it says Trophy Presentation 1 ATK in black Sharpie that you can, of course, can't read. They didn't want to do it in silver. They didn't want to do it. And basically, yeah, you could barely see where. See it? Trophy 1 ATK.
Yeah, we see that. Oh, yeah, we see it. We see it. I see it.
Yeah, this was on that microphone. And basically the guy that's sitting, Mike Stahl, who actually worked for ATK and owned it, gave me the mic. I said, I want the mic flag that Terry uses.
I got to be honest with you. If we knew Joe Horgan, we know him very well, the longtime VP of exhibits.
Yeah.
Pro Football Hall of Fame. The quarterback who's won the most Super Bowls ever, 6, interviewed by a quarterback who previously had the most, tied with 4.
Yeah.
To start it out and possibly end it.
So there's 10 eventual Super Bowl trophies and maybe counting for Bucs fans in that one conversation. And that's the first one for Brady.
Yeah.
Wouldn't the Hall of Fame maybe
that's what I'm saying.
Take it,
Well, again, it's like this is one of my really cool things, but I have something cooler from that. This is, of course, being a U2 fan. This would be a guitar pick that the Edge used in rehearsals for the halftime show. Now, what's sick about this is it says his name, Edge, on the backside. It's U2. And I wrote this, and you can see how long ago the writing is kind of fading. It says Edge guitar pick Super Bowl 36, New Orleans, 2002, and it's actually fading
out of the bag. Take it out of the bag, Mike. Take it out of the bag.
Yeah, all right. So, wow, hang on. I never touched this. It's like one of those things.
Mike, you need to get Terry Bradshaw to sign that mic flag.
Yeah, I actually could. I actually should. So, yeah. So you see U2. You could barely read like the U2, and then on the back, it's got the Edge.
So now, did he flip it off the stage, or how did you get?
No. This was in rehearsals.
I know. So how did you get?
Oh, no. One of the guys, all my buddies that did it, Tom, and all the guys that worked for ATK, the company does this sound for the halftime show, knew I was a U2 nut.
Wow.
And he's like, I'm going to get you something and he got me one of the rehearsals, which is cool. Now, this is also really cool. You see a picture of this. That is the confetti after Super Bowl 36.
Do you have some of the confetti? All right. Look at that.
So, I have a whole.
To top this. I know you said you wanted to.
Oh, no. I'm going to top it. And it's actually pretty cool. This mic flag was from the first NFC championship that Fox broadcast in, I believe it was in Candlestick Park.
Like 94 or something?
I'm going to say it was either, you might have been 95 or 96.
It was the 94 season, the 95 NFC championship game, calendar year, but for the 94 season, I was there in January of 95 as a member of KRCR TV.
Yeah, Cowboys 49ers.
With my camera, and I was shooting the end of it, and I keep on, whenever you see, Steve Young did a lap around Candlestick Park, and he came underneath the goalposts. I was right there and was shooting it. I keep trying to pause that moment if I ever see it on TV, just to see me all my hair. I was there. And that's the thing. You want to talk about amazing, small.
Well, Rich.
That was the day. That was the day. Literally, I didn't meet them, but I was in the same stadium as Dion and Michael Irvin.
Yeah.
And now I'm like their on-air and longtime. I consider them longtime friends. If you had told me that day, hey, guess what? You're going to be the first host of NFL Network, I'd be like, and you'd work with Dion and Michael, and you'd call Michael Irvin Uncle Michael.
Crazy.
I'd be like, sign me up, man. All right,
what do you have, Brock? One more, and this is it.
Right.
One more.
Jesus, Mike.
Brockman, this is going to make Brockman not feel good. This would be the Tyree catch game.
All right, I don't care about that. Okay, my turn.
This is Betty from the Tyree catch game. and it's signed
I got a,
stop now. There we go.
to
I
Mike.
got a sleepy boy right here.
That's
I got
Sarah right there?
All right, I'll
Yeah,
take.
Sarah's right there. She doesn't really want to be
Hey.
on camera.
Okay.
Oh, hi,
What's up,
Sarah.
Sorry that we've been
Hey,
zooming in and all this all week. So thank you for.
Say hi, buddy. Say hi to everybody
Hey,
out there
how you
on
doing,
Zoom.
Hey, what's happening?
Cage's debut, Uncaged.
Cage's
Uncaged.
Zoom debut. Uncaged. Uh-oh.
Uncaged. Uh-oh.
Yeah, man.
Look at Brock. Rich, is this amazing?
Yeah.
This is amazing, Rich. Brockman with child. This could be one of the greatest moments in my life. I'm not gonna lie. There was a Miracle on Ice, and then Brockman. This is
I'm
it.
crushing it.
No,
You're
and
crushing it over here.
I'm with 3 crazy ass older kids around here right now. I see this and I'm like
buddy.
a little
Good
bit
job.
jealous because I've always wanted to be cuddled by Brockman while I shit in his hands, you know.
By the way, I think he's going right now. To be
That's
honest.
what I'm saying. I saw that arch of the back.
Do we
you
smell
know.
it? Do we get
Look out.
Ooh!
Jackpot.
Back to mom. Back to mom.
Ah, I know these things. Even
Back to mom.
Jackpot. All right.
Way, I'm not going. We're good.
What a great way to baptize the end of our Zoom week for a little boom boom. We have a
Oh, my
Zoom and then a
goodness.
boom boom. That's the
Hey
way
now.
we do things.
Hey now.
Fantastic.
Oh my God. Done.
What a big finale. A big finale. Thank you guys. Appreciate that. Thanks again to our friends
Same to you, pal.
who have made this look so great. Honestly, we had no idea how this was going to work all week. And thank our guests, Kurt Warner on Monday and Bruce Arians and Booga on Tuesday. Wednesday, Frank Caliendo and Joey Molinaro still are making people laugh on all the views that we're seeing on Twitter and on our Instagram feed, and of course on our YouTube page, youtube.com/Rich Eisen Show, where you can also catch Trent Dilfer yesterday talking all about Tua and his thoughts on Brady and Trubisky and obviously Cam and so much more with Jameis. He was great on that yesterday, and today Jeff Garlin, thanks to him and Zach Rosenfield for putting this whole thing together, Sean Mitchell for helping out, and everybody else, Don Bouya, coordinating producer, and you guys. Thank you. And
You're
thank
welcome,
you,
Rich.
Sarah. And then also my wife, Susie, while you heard all the craziness on the other side of my door. Thanks to everybody out there.
Yeah, have a great weekend, guys.
Have a
We'll
great
see you
weekend,
next
everybody.
week.
Have a great, safe weekend, and we'll see you Monday.